Hello, the internet. I got a call today from a client who have a show coming up whereby they would like to run fully redundant backup Digico SD consoles, and they wanted to know how you go about doing that. So I explained how to do that, and then I thought I could just do something to show everybody how to do that if you've not done it before. So we've got an SD9, and because I don't have a second SD9, what I do have is a laptop running the offline software, and we'll mirror them together and we'll make the laptop and the SD9 believe that the laptop is in fact a fully functioning second console. There are a couple of things to know just before we start, one of which is that what we're talking about today is mirroring consoles which are not connected to octa-core. It works a little bit differently with octa-core in as much as the octa-core uses the console IDs and audio master switches to denote which engine is talking to the loop and talking to the connected racks, etc. Whereas what we are doing is talking about systems that are connected via MADI. So our rack, let's say a D2 rack or an SD rack, would be connected to both consoles via the console A via the MADI main stream and console B via the MADI aux stream, and when we mirror them we have to remember that all of the audio always goes to all of the places all of the time. There is, both consoles are live all of the time, and it's actually the rack that decides which stream it's going to listen to from either console A or console B. So if console A falls over for any reason, the cable breaks or whatever, then the rack will automatically listen to the second stream on console B, but it's not to do with the engines. The engines themselves are not controlling where the audio is going. All of the audio goes everywhere, always. Other things to know are that we need the two consoles to be the same, so we need a pair of SD9s or a pair of SD8s, a pair of SD12s, whatever it is you've got, they just have to be the same console. You can't mirror different consoles. We want them on the same software versions, so mine is on 16.19, which is the newest version available from Digico, and we also need them to be on the same network with the same subnet, mask, etc. They just have to have separate IP addresses, so we can achieve that by either just chucking a network cable between the two consoles or via switches and managed networks. However you do your networking, they just need to be able to talk to each other. So to get started with actually mirroring these, what we need to do is on both consoles we need to go to the Options tab and Console, and then at the bottom of the screen we can see the 4 mirroring mode options. So we have full mirror, expander, remote, or one way. And what you'll mostly use is full mirror if you're trying to do this for just full redundancy, because what that achieves is that anything you do on one surface will be entirely replicated on the second surface, so you have two identical consoles. So if one of the control surfaces went down, for example, the fader bank stopped working or a screen stopped working or something like that, you could just jump straight onto the second console and you're exactly where you were on the first console. Two identical consoles. Then we have expander mode, which is for primarily if you have an SD7 and you have the expansion module for the SD7, which is that thing that's got like 2 screens and 2 sets of faders like an SD7 without the master section. That's why you would use the expander mode for. Then we have remote, which is what you would mostly use for having a PC connected to the console, so the PC can control the console but there's no actual audio engine involved. It's literally just for remote control. And then the one-way option is where a computer can connect to the console, it can see the console but it can't talk to it, can't control it in any way, it's just that it can see it. So I don't know of any situation where I've ever needed to do that, but generally remote or full mirror are going to be the 2 modes that you will use. So the next step is that on this console I've got my session loaded, and this session happens to be the Sisters of Mercy from Melbourne, the show that we did a couple of months ago. So that's loaded on there, and then in my network tab, we can see this engine, which is this console, and we can see that it's got that session loaded. I have this one up here selected as engine A. So this is a network ID and is not the same as the octa-core IDs that I was talking about earlier. And then if we were on, like if I had an actual second console, the second engine would show up here. Whereas because I am on a computer, it shows up here. So we can see that the computer is there. On the computer, we have no session loaded. And I've literally just turned it on and done all the same things network wise. So this is set up as engine B, or what would be engine B if it was a console. And so from here we select the engine that we want to, or select the console that we want to mirror to, and all we do is we hit send session to selected, like so. And then when we come over here, we should be able to see, well, it is sending that session there. And then we can see that we have now the same session loaded on both consoles. We come back this way, and now we can, we've got our mirroring options available to us. It won't let you mirror unless the sessions are the same on both consoles. So now we can say mirror to selected, and now they're mirrored. So anything I do on the console will be reflected on the laptop. Anything I do on the laptop will be reflected on the console. So if I come over here to this fader bank, and if I start pressing mutes on the console, you can see them appear there. If I move faders up and down, we can see that happens. So now if they were two consoles, they are fully mirrored and doing exactly what they need to do together in a redundant kind of way. So that was a quick look at how to mirror to Digico SD consoles to give ourselves a redundant backup scenario. To unmirror them again, we just press the unmirror button, like so. And we are back to independent operation. I hope that was helpful to someone. Yeah, hit me up if you want to know more stuff. Cool, thanks, see ya.